what the hell we're talking about?
I don't want to go on a rant here. What the hell does rant mean?
No, we never know what we're talking about. That's the beauty of our podcast. Episode 10. We made it. We're 10. I can't believe it.
Are we
made it
10
this
like
far.
Ty Dillinger 10 or actually good 10?
Way more talented 10 than Ty Dillinger. Yes. We made it to episode 10 plus 1. We've actually been doing this every week. I'm kind of impressed.
Yeah, we kept up with it for almost 3 months now.
We have some stuff on tap. I've been going over Dexter in my head of what I wanted to talk about, but it's like, do I do a whole rundown of the damn show? Like you haven't seen it? Do I give my thoughts? So I just wrote basically season recap, the ending, the likes, dislikes, maybe a rant here and there. I don't know, but we should get into our, I don't know. We haven't done this in like a full week. So what was the unusual death?
It was Jalen Rippey, I believe is how you pronounce her name. She was the 5-year-old
that sucks.
on a boat with her family in 2015 and killed by a leaping sturgeon.
Yes, that's right.
So not a ton of follow-up from it. I couldn't find out what the cause of death was. I probably don't even think I want to know.
I'm guessing blunt
the
force
cause of
trauma.
That's my assumption, but I feel like I don't want to know from that. This happened on I'm probably going to mispronounce this, the Suwannee River in Florida. As you had said last week, her mom suffered severe facial injuries, and her older brother, who I think was 9, his name was, I believe, Trevor, suffered a broken arm. At the time, the Wildlife Conservation Commission said that this was the first ever fatality from a leaping sturgeon in the river, but 4 other people had been injured that same year by jumping sturgeon.
Jeez.
Including 2 people the very next freaking day.
It's like the sturgeon were just out for blood.
Yeah, a woman named Colleen Harvey, who was 42, and her husband Charles, 41.
Was he in charge?
He might have been, but not of
not of this
leaping sturgeon. They were struck while boating along the Santa Fe River, and then the prior month, a 14-year-old was knocked unconscious by a sturgeon while boating with her family. Wasn't killed, but was knocked unconscious by the leaping sturgeon.
Jeez.
So apparently, I didn't know this. I actually had to learn this. Sturgeons can grow to be as big as 8 feet and weigh over 200 pounds.
8 feet?
8 feet and over 200 pounds. And they're noted for their prehistoric appearance with hard plates on their backs, which is what makes them potentially deadly when they leap. And apparently, because the water levels, that's
I like levelers,
were lower than usual, it made the sturgeons jumping more frequently than in past years, although biologists don't understand why they jump. One additional factoid.
Maybe it's like a game for them.
Maybe it is. They say that they're not out to attack people. I'm calling bullshit on that. I think the sturgeons have a thing for blood.
At least maybe they're just like, hey, how high can you get out of the water, Billy? And he's like, all right, Timmy, I can do it. Or shit like that. I don't know.
I found out that 8 years earlier in 2007, a leaping sturgeon severely injured a 50-year-old woman from St. Petersburg in Florida as she was riding a personal watercraft along the Suwannee River. So she was on a jet ski, so she's going fast. She suffered a ruptured spleen, had 3 fingers reattached by surgeons, but
how do you get what was it? One sturgeon? I mean, I guess if it's an 8-foot sturgeon, it could just get your entire body, hit you in the spleen.
So I'm guessing she's like holding on to the jet ski. It probably just smashed her right in like the torso. Ruptured spleen, 3 fingers were amputated, but later reattached. But she did lose her
they amputated her fingers and then reattached them? So they weren't like knocked off by the sturgeon. They amputated them and then reattached
them. No, they knocked them off, but then they reattached. So it amputated them. But my question is, so had 3 fingers reattached by surgeons, but she lost her left pinky in a
surgeons and sturgeons.
How did they find the fingers to reattach them?
They must have
when it happened in water. Do they float?
They must have not been fully like
they must have been like dangling off, I'm guessing.
I'm thinking of when Peter blew up his hand and they had to like find his 4 fingers, and then the bird had it. Joe planted a knife on the bird just in case. Everything you talk about, I feel like somehow can relate to Family Guy. There'll be some way of connecting it to Family Guy.
Oh, when you just said blowing off the hand, I was thinking of Jason Pierre-Paul.
Oh no, that's JPP.
So that is our unusual death follow-up, not as lengthy as some of the others have been, but
That's
Sucks
more.
having to research about a child though. That's pretty terrible.
Yeah, hopefully we do. I was gonna say hopefully do a better death, but that's kind of depressing. Do I get right into Dexter? I'm like sort of dreading talking about this
Well, I think before you get into Dexter, because I know you're dreading it, but it's probably something you should get to.
because it's
Just
like
want to.
I ramble. Like I've been rambling. I've told this story that I want to tell already in my head like 9 times, and then it'll never come out the way I like intended to.
Well, before you get to Dexter, I just want to give a shout out to my number one TV dad from last week, Danny Tanner. Bob
Oh, that's
Saget
right.
unfortunately passed away on Sunday
That was pretty
at the
shitty.
age of 65. That was pretty terrible. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That one hurt.
I'm
That one
surprised
hurt.
you didn't do like maybe you could do it on the fly as I'm talking about Dexter or whatever, or next week you could do like a Bob Saget like tribute
In memoriam.
because like I don't know a lot of stuff that he's done besides that. Like he's obviously a big comedian who a lot of people just see Full House don't know how absolutely filthy he was as a comedian, but he was also had that insane cameo, and I think it was why am I drawing a blank on the
Half Baked.
Yeah, where he says
He sucks dicks for coke.
Like that's like his is that like his second most famous role? Because like
Well,
everybody knows that.
I didn't know this. I think I texted you this. He directed the film Dirty Work. I had no idea.
I didn't know. That's a great movie with what Norm and Artie.
Yeah, Norm, Artie Lang, Jack Warden.
I haven't seen that movie in ages, but I have actually
Really
seen
good
it.
movie.
And did you not
Really good
notice my
movie.
new setup?
I'm oblivious to these things. I
You
didn't
really
notice
that's
it.
why I had the camera on dark before, so you didn't. How do you not notice that? You're staring. Are you not looking at me?
I am. I didn't notice.
Like it's literally right here, signed right there by Jennifer Carpenter. So if I decide to
did
go to
not
that other
notice.
convention, I could get C.S. Lee, Michael C. Hall, Desmond Harrington, but that's going to cost me a fortune. And like, what do I think I was texting you. What do you even say to somebody like Michael C. Hall? Like, what the fuck do I talk to him about? Hey, you're a god. Like, I'd blow you if you want. Like, that's one of those roles where it's like, what's his face? Bryan Cranston. You're just a god now. Like you've achieved god level just on.
I mean, for Bryan Cranston's role in Malcolm in the Middle, I know. I mean,
exactly, yeah. And I'm honestly, I don't even like Bryan Cranston, but like when you have a role that's so loved like that, like what do I talk to Michael C. Hall about?
Maybe
hey, what's
you
the
ask
weather
him,
like?
Well, maybe you'd be like, was it awkward working with Jennifer Carpenter after you got divorced?
Yeah, I'm
you
sure
were married
that's-
to your
yeah.
sister.
Yeah, when you were married to Jennifer Carpenter and you were playing his sister, or she was playing your sister, was that weird for you guys? Like, no, we like to role play. And weird shit like that. So talk about Dexter. We got I can't forget about this, the Twitter poll I posted on Instagram and Twitter of how you eat with some of the surprising answers.
Do I kind of get like semi credit for that idea a little bit?
You basically you ripped off not the Hey Babe, whatever Sal's other podcast was.
I didn't realize that's what the whole premise of that entire other podcast was. It called Taste Buds?
They always talk about food. He's always posting like turkey or chicken or shit like that.
I'm Captain Oblivious. I never put two and two together that he was posting those things to then talk about them on that podcast.
So, like, of course, somebody's texting me in the middle of the podcast. Couldn't have happened right before that. But yeah, Alex was like, so you mean just the whole Taste Buds podcast? And then I was
no
like,
idea that's what it
that
was.
was the thing that came to my mind because I know people are psychotic and don't. So let's talk about that first. Let me pull that shit up. So where is it? Because Instagram, I can at least save it and I have it on Twitter. So the question was, if you're following this at Rant on Twitter or Instagram, you might have seen this. When you're eating a meal with fries, whatever you're having, hamburger, hot dog, whatever the fuck you want to eat. In this example, I just used a hamburger. How do you eat it? Do you go alternating bites? Do you finish the burger first and then the fries? Or do you finish the fries and then the burger? And I don't know if you logged into Instagram to see the results or if you even looked at Twitter.
I looked at Twitter. I did see the results on Twitter. I didn't see Instagram.
Twitter had only 14 votes. Bastards. Instagram has more people on it. And let's see. 78% said alternating bites, which is the correct answer. 7.1 said they would finish the burger, then the fries. 14% said they would finish the fries, then the burger. And on Instagram.
So I'm guessing you had said alternating bites.
Instagram, you have to pick a specific one to be the correct answer, even though there's no correct answer. So that's what I picked because that's how I do it. So 11 people on Instagram said that they do it alternating. 3 said the burger, then the fries, and 2 said fries, then the burger. You said, I know you voted. Let me see all. Yeah, you voted for B, like a psychopath. The least popular opinion on Twitter. Finish the entire main course. The majority of people, as I said A. Randy, shout out to Randy, is with you and B. One other person, Alexis from the from NEW, she said B. And then one of our fellow AEW stand support group members, Bailey, said C. I'm trying to see if anybody else said C. There was one other person, but I can't find it. Most of the people said A. So why are you psychotic, and why would you finish an entire thing before eating something else? I don't get it.
Okay, so I also got my wife and sister-in-law to vote. Do you see my sister-in-law said she needs a fourth option?
That's true, but I sort of like, my sister texted me and said something of like eating them both together, and I said that's basically alternating. So that's sort of,
Yeah.
I grouped that with alternating.
So I opted for finished burger then fries because I am a sociopath. But in my mind, to me, the fries are the best part. I save the best for last. So I devour the burger and then I just dig into the fries.
But I don't want to eat 100% of something and then eat 100% of something else. It's like I want different tastes. I don't want just to shove the whole burger and then it's like that's gone.
Now and obviously I know you'd get your burger with like cheese and not a lot of condiments, maybe some barbecue sauce. But if you're getting, let's say you got like a spicy burger, you don't want to go from spicy to the French fry to spicy to the French fry because you're not going to be able to taste the actual French fry. But you're not going to be able to.
You can taste the French fry. It is Wendy's spicy chicken. You take a drink, you eat a French fry. I go back and forth. If I get a hot dog, hamburger, and fries, I'm going alternating all bites.
When you just said you dip and then have a French fry dip, that just made me think of Vegas Vacation. Put $1 and got a car.
Put $1. Yes, I still have to watch that again because I haven't seen that in forever.
But I mean, what's wrong with saving?
I don't understand why you would eat an entire thing of McDonald's fries at once, without. There's no other meal. Like that's it. You already ate your burger and you're just gonna eat 100 French fries. Like I don't.
That's what I do that with a lot of things. So like if Kate and I have a meal and it's something with a salad on the side, I eat my entire salad.
Well, that's like the salad is usually like an appetizer. The fries are with your, like if you saved your salad from your appetizer for your main course, then you'd be fucking weird too.
But also here's another one. So if we have something and have like mashed potatoes on the side of it, I'll eat the entire thing before I have any mashed potatoes.
Yeah, that's weird. That's
very
weird. Because like if you're eating a steak, I don't know, like I don't really eat mashed potatoes or steak, but don't you want a bite of the steak? Like, because I want a bite of the burger and then I'll shove some fries in my mouth. Like you get the mix of everything. Like, I don't know.
The only thing I would mix those is like if I have meatloaf, I'll do mashed potatoes on the meatloaf.
Like if I saw somebody at McDonald's and their then were empty and then they had their burger in their hand, I'd be like, what is wrong with you?
See, to me, the burger would be gone and I'd still have the fries.
But it's just, well, that's also for if you're doing fast food fries, you want to alternate because I don't want to wait for McDonald's fries are bad after like 30 seconds. You got to eat those things like right away. They're like one of the worst.
It's not real food. It's not a real potato. Let's be real.
Like Duchess fries are pretty good after. I guess really no fries are like Burger King fries are okay for a while afterwards. But once you get like hours, if you still have some left over like the next day, no, can't reheat fries. Even in an air fryer, it's just I'm not on board with that.
Well, if you use an air fryer, you can get those things like crispy and perfect. Speaking of, I just reheated Kate's lunch in an air fryer for her. She had leftover mozzarella sticks and garlic knots. Came out just as new.
Wasn't there a TikTok that's basically just like the air fryer is just a small oven? There's like no real features to it. It's just easier to use.
It's easier and it's you don't use oil
your whole
and stuff like that. It's
your whole personality is Peloton and air frying. It's kind of sad. Like that's
all
you are.
That's very accurate, actually. Remember when I used to send you snaps when I was sitting in traffic? Now it's just random songs on the Peloton.
It's like there are certain things out there that become your personality. MAGA people, that's their whole personality. Apple users, that's their whole personality. Peloton people now, and then air fryers. You gotta get an air fryer, man. I don't have to do anything. Leave me alone. I would get an air fryer. Seems cool, but like I don't need to buy an air fryer. But if I had one, I'd definitely use it. But there are so many options. How do you know with air fryer or an air fryer oven? Let's see all the infomercials. They look cool, but they're expensive. Like some of the ovens are like $200.
Yeah, I mean, I will say we don't use it all the time, but like for reheating things, for whatever reason,
yeah, you could throw pizza in there.
Pizza in there, amazing. I don't like leftover like steak or burgers left over. I don't like how they taste when you reheat them.
They're not as good.
In the air fryer, I'll actually have it because it gets it like moist again and crispy. It actually tastes like it's brand new.
Like a hot dog, I'll reheat in the microwave. That's fine. Actually, I've cooked hot dogs in the microwave. It's the easiest way to cook one.
That's how I used to
roll it in a paper towel and you just like throw it in the microwave for like less than a minute. It's perfect. But like, yeah, burgers reheated in the microwave, not as good. I'll eat it, but yeah, not as good. So I was surprised that there were that many people who actually eat one of the two options.
I thought I was going
Because
to be like the lone
I'm pretty
person.
sure I'm pretty sure I knew that you did that, so that's kind of why I threw that out there. But I was like, I don't know what's worse. I feel like eating the fries first would be weirder because at
I
least that's like
think
the side dish. So like you eat the main thing and then the side. But if you eat the fries first, I don't know. It's just like I don't
see
want.
to me eating the fries first or whatever, eating the side before you have the main thing. To me, that means you're a freaking serial killer. That's a serial killer to me.
But it's like
I'm a
I
sociopath,
like the
but they're a
mixing
serial
of
killer.
tastes because like you can get. I guess
That's what she said.
a burger's not that like. It's not like you're eating a 72-ounce steak where you're gonna get sick of the taste. But if I'm eating a whole burger, sort of the same taste, you can throw the fries in there. Maybe if you're at Wendy's, dip them in the Frosty, which is super underrated. It's really good. I'm more of a
No,
vanilla Frosty guy than chocolate now these
see,
days.
I would rather the chocolate than vanilla. But the one thing, sometimes I have done this where it's almost like I'm alternating bites. I'll, put the French fries or the onion rings or whatever on the burger, in the burger.
I occasionally will do that, but it's like usually this shit just falls out. So I'm like, why I could just shovel these into my face from the side. I don't really need to put it on the burger.
Well, that's why if you're making it yourself, you put it on there and then melt cheese on top of it, so it kind of solidifies there.
Yeah, I never make my own food like that. I'm too anxious in the kitchen to like. I just want to eat the food. I don't want to sit there and like whenever I'm
Take the
cooking.
time to.
Whenever I'm cooking an egg, I'm like, come on, what the fuck, let's go. And it just takes forever, and then I gotta clean shit up. So
I'm actually surprised you like eggs.
I never used to like eggs, but then I finally started eating bacon, egg, and cheese in like high school, and I was like, this is the best thing ever. And I prefer the egg is my favorite part. Like Alex hates the egg, but I'm like, I want double egg on my sandwich.
Now, do you only eat it fried, or would you have like?
I mean, like I try to cook a fried egg, and most of the time it's still runny in the center, which is okay. But I prefer like a straight up fried egg or scrambled eggs.
No, let me ask you a question. How do you cook your fried egg?
What do you mean? Like,
How do you cook it? What do you do to fry it?
I'll put like butter in the pan, throw it on there, let it cook, and I have no patience. So like I'll flip it too early or whatever. It'll usually break or whatever. Then I'll flip it to the other side. And then inevitably I'll take it off either too soon to where it's like completely runny, or there are times where I overcooked it, which I still like, where it was like the center was completely cooked.
No, let me ask you a question. Why are you flipping it?
Because I don't want that's how you cook the other side.
Put a lid on it.
That'll just steam it.
If you put a
Like I
lid
want it
over it
fried
or
on
aluminum
both.
foil on top of it, you could do it that way. But also, here's a suggestion for you: use a muffin tin, bake it in the oven.
It's too much work. I'm one pan, one spatula. That's it. If I'm cooking anything, because I want it to fry on the other side too. It's nothing like I wish I had a flat top because then you could just cook fucking eggs on a flat top. Oh, it's so nice.
The thing that I want, and I've always wanted this, and maybe one day at the Ramey family compound, if I win the lottery, I want a hibachi. That's what I want. I
Oh
want
my
hibachi.
God.
I want to have like the countertop hibachi. That is my dream.
I love like the only thing that I'll like really eat steak is when they cook it on the flat top at the hibachi. Like we'll get the filet instead of the sirloin because it's better, and then he'll cook it well done, and it's still moist, it's still chewy, and still delicious. But like when my dad cooks a steak at home, I'm like, I'm not interested. Just not a big steak guy.
You've eaten the steak sometimes when you lived in Mohawk with us.
Like I'll have a little bit of that, but I don't like if you cook me a full filet, there's no way I'm finishing that. It's just like when my whole family likes it like rare in the middle or whatever, and I'm like, it's not cooked.
I'm a medium rare, but more pushing towards a medium because Kate will attest to this, and she'll probably laugh when she listens to this. Every time she cooks something, I will have like if it's a little on the rarer side, I'll take a bite, like, and I'll literally pick it up on my fork, like, is this cooked? And then she's like, yes, and I'll eat them. Like, is this cooked? I think this bite's raw.
Like well done. Like if I cook a steak well done, I'm gonna fucking burn it. But if like a real chef is cooking a well done steak, it could still be juicy and delicious. So like I get it. If I'm just throwing it in the oven and leaving it on there or throwing it on the grill myself, I'm probably gonna fuck it up. But if I go to a restaurant and get a steak well done, yeah, they'll probably laugh at me and be like, this fucking idiot. But it's still gonna be good if a professional cooks it.
So that if you order it, you'll order it well done. If you order it,
I won't order a steak. It's just not worth it.
If you ever would order it medium or medium well, it'll still have some pink, but it won't be bleeding and mooing at you.
It's just like people are like, it's so juicy. That's so unappealing to me. Like it's disgusting.
Like the people that get it,
give me seafood all day over steak.
The people that order it like rare, where that's like it kisses the grill and they just give it to you. That is wrong. That's literally I can see the heart beating. Like fuck off. That's wrong.
People who eat fucking tartar, like just straight up raw. Like I can't even eat sushi. Like I
There
can eat some
is,
sushi in a roll, but not like like my niece will eat sashimi, and I'm like, I can't do that.
see, I can't do sashimi. I'll have sushi. Just don't put eel on it. But I'm Lebanese, and there's a dish that we would have called kibbeh, and you
Sounds
can have it.
gross.
It's it's usually lamb, ground lamb. You can have it baked or fried, but they also do it raw.
Ugh.
And you would eat it with a raw onion. You would scoop it with
No,
raw onion and
no,
eat
that's
it.
awful.
I tried it once.
I don't even like cooked onions really.
I'm paranoid about like, is this
Ugh.
cooked? I'm going to get salmonella. I actually didn't hate it. I would never do it again, but I actually ate the raw kibbeh.
What about the raw onion?
Yeah, I did
Bite
that
into
too.
a raw onion. That's
Yeah, not a
disgusting.
fan. Not a fan of that.
Not a fan of onions. My favorite sushi, like sashimi style, is the crab stick, which isn't even real crab, but it tastes so amazing. I tried to buy it. They sell it at Stop and Shop, right? Like that
Really?
imitation crab. It's the grossest shit ever. It's nothing like you can get at a sushi restaurant. I don't know why it was so different, but whatever the sushi crab stick is from an actual place is amazing.
So when you get sushi, what's like your
That's it.
go-to?
I was really, really stuck on sushi. Like, what year is it? 2020. I was still working at Crate and Barrel, so a long time ago, like 8 or 9 years ago. We'd get the mango tango roll from what's it called? Sweet Basil in Fairfield. And I got it so much, and I think either I got sick from eating it too much, or it was like undercooked, or it was obvious it's raw. So there's something wrong. I got sick, and then I stopped eating sushi altogether, pretty much. And then the last time I had it, I think Alex and I were at a WrestleMania trip. It was some wrestling trip. It was some roll with a bunch of shit in it. So I was like, I'll try it. It's pretty good. But if like family comes up, we go to Chinese, I'll get like 10 pieces of crab stick, and I'll just go to town on that shit. And of course, it's the fake stuff that I like not even real, like fish. I don't know what's in it. I don't know how much even real crab is in that stuff, but it's so fucking good. We just had it the other day. So fucking good.
The first time I ever had sushi is when we lived in Penny. Remember when I got violently, violently ill and you and Kyle were playing T-dubs?
Yeah, I was
and
eating
I'm
Taco
puking?
Bell.
I got an intestinal parasite from sushi.
You had a full-on parasite from that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you were super sick. And yeah, I actually vividly, I can remember you sitting in the corner and Kyle and I are just playing Tiger Woods.
And I'm puking in a garbage can.
And I was eating
sick
Taco
for like
Bell, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were. I was sick for like
I
3
could-
weeks. I lost like 20 pounds because of it.
I don't think I could eat if somebody was puking.
That was the
Ow.
very first time I ever had sushi. My brother took me out to have sushi, and then I got.
He tried to kill you.
Yeah, he tried.
Where'd you
kill
go
me.
to Kabuki?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah,
How could you ever go back there after that?
I did, and I've never gotten sick again from having sushi.
Did I tell you when I got sick from Domino's? Like, remember their pasta bowls or whatever?
Yeah.
I think I got food poisoning from it because I was so like sick that my mom gave me suppositories and I almost used them. I was so
Wow.
sick. I had my finger at my ass and I was like, am I really going to cross this boundary? Like I tried and I was like, okay, I'm sick, but no. But I contemplated it because I think it was food poisoning. That was the time I got food poisoning, and you tried to kill me from fucking Marketplace with food poisoning. Didn't you guys get sick too?
Yes.
We
No,
all
I
got,
did. I did. Kate didn't, but I did.
and like I don't know if I've had fish and chips since then, but like
It kind of traumatizes you.
because I thought I had COVID. I called out to work and said I have symptoms because I was on the couch. I felt really hot. I was shivering and I was like, oh fuck, I have it. So I told them, so I had to get a test. And then I texted you and you were like, yeah, Kate and I have been shitting all week. And I was like, oh fuck, it's food poisoning. But now I had to go get a test because I already told them I think I have COVID.
The
When
when
that
I was
not a fun experience.
when I was 18, I got like a 24-hour bug. But like the last thing I'd eaten when I got sick was like a salad with ranch dressing. This is almost 18 years. I've not had ranch dressing since because I'm traumatized from it. Traumatized from it. It's not what made me sick, but I can't go back to have it because the thought and the sight of it brings me back to then. I'm like, nope, can't do it.
That's just ranch in general is disgusting to me. But like I haven't had a pasta bowl since then, and that's because of fucking Domino's.
I'd be hesitant to go back to it.
I mean, I've eaten Domino's. I just haven't eaten their pasta bowls. I just can't do it anymore. I don't remember which one it was.
Do you think Glenn is still working at that Domino's and putting the pizza in the oven?
I would give them instructions to come around to the back door, and they never would listen. Always be at the front door.
And you like it in the back door.
That's very true. I feel like if we're talking about eating, should I just do this taste test right now?
You might as well.
It's not going to be anything insane because I put something super.
Now,
normal.
Before you get to the taste test, guess what? Tell the listeners what's upcoming in the next few weeks. What I get you
should be you listed off. You bought it. I bought some. I was looking at stuff online. I was sending them to you, and I was like, "Hey, there's some candy from Australia. I also found this candy from England. I want to do like taste tests of like actual shit I've never had before, like that." So you bought what? All the Australian stuff?
Well, I bought first. It was the Cadbury. It was the Cadbury thing, which I think was from Australia. It was. I'm trying to pull it up
That
now.
like bag of
Cadbury Favorites chocolate gift box made in
So
Australia.
I'm fucking super excited about that. Anything
That is
chocolate?
coming. That will be at your doorstep on Tuesday.
Nice. I should have
And
my other thing on Wednesday.
the other thing that I ordered.
So we're basically going to do a taste test every week now.
Yeah, you're going to have to. The Maxi International Snack Box, premium and exotic foreign snacks.
It's because I always wanted to try like random, not like bugs and shit, but like different potato chips from different countries. So he got the 2 from Australia, with that like I almost said magic snack box, but like international snack box, and then I bought some candy from England. Since I've never been to either of these places.
That one I've gotten. I now have details of when it's going to be arriving. It'll be arriving between Monday and Tuesday.
Is it shipped from Australia?
I think so, yes.
Really? That's pretty sweet.
It might be, or it might be shipped from there to somewhere else, and then we're getting it from that place.
Compared to that, this week is nothing, because this is like everyone knows peanut butter and pretzels. Like it's not a big deal, but they only had the jumbo pack, so my fat ass had to get the fucking jumbos because they didn't have the single ones. So this is the Reese's with pretzels in it, which
Where'd
is
you find
weird. Amazon, because I got like Reese's variety pack for Christmas, and they have Reese's Take 5, which has pretzels in it. So I don't know why you need a Take 5 and then just like a Reese's cup with them in it, but I don't know if there are 2 in here or if this is one giant cup. And I also went to get the Mountain Dew. I think it was Phil who showed it to me. I forget what flavor it was, but of course the fucking gas station didn't have it. And I already committed in the gas station. Since I walked in there, I didn't want to walk out with nothing. So I went with Pepsi Wild Cherry, which I've never tried before. So back on the
I'm not
cherry.
sure if I would like that.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it was either this or the stupid gingerbread Mountain Dew again. I was not touching that.
Every time that we go to the grocery store or Target, I always have to go buy the soda to check to see what kind of flavors of Mountain Dew they have. Every time.
I don't even remember what the new one is called. All right, there's 2 in here, so I'll mail you the second one and then you can try it. So it smells like look at that. You can see
you can actually see the piece of pretzel
out the top. So I mean, I'm gonna love this. I love pretzels with anything. Nestle Flips are probably my favorite candy ever. I don't know if you've ever had those chocolate covered pretzels, like the specific Nestle Flips kind. Like I was obsessed with those when I first.
I remember you used to get the blue bag. You used to get like
giant
hundreds of them from
Yes.
Stop and Shop.
Yeah, I had the last time I bought them when I lived in Danbury. I got 4 of the party size bags. They're like gigantic. All right, so normal Reese's big cup. Let's give this a shot. You hear that crunch? That's
I do hear the crunch,
but you can't really see it in there.
You can a little bit. Do you actually taste the pretzel more than you taste the chip in the ones that were with the chips?
I actually there's a little hint of salt right there. It's not really heavy on the pretzel. It's more for like the crunch factor again.
Which do you like better thus far? Do you like this one better or the one with the chips? I know you keep going back to have the one with the chips, but
I kind of like the chips more. Because like Nestle Flips, you get a balance of like chocolate and pretzel. This is like really overpowered. Although you couldn't really taste the chip either. If it wasn't for this podcast, I probably wouldn't have bought these. They're not bad though. I will devour these. I'm already ready to eat the other one. But you don't really taste a lot of pretzel.
So it's not like whatever the hell that you got that you just kept taking sips of that was actually disgusting.
Or the Code Red. So now for the Pepsi. So this is, as I choke, wild cherry. I think they have like another flavor of cherry, but this one seemed like the one I'd like the most.
I'm not big on cherries.
Yeah, me either.
Cherry flavor, just cherry in general.
So this sort of smells like the Code Red. It smells exactly like what you would expect Pepsi with cherry to smell like. I don't hate it. Like, those chocolate covered maraschino cherries?
Yeah.
Like I fucking love those. But like cherry drinks wouldn't be my first or 10th choice.
I'm not big, like even maraschino cherries, I don't like that much.
I like that a lot better than Code Red because you get mostly Pepsi flavored with a hint of cherry. So that's not terrible.
Do you want to pour it on your head? You getting that urge?
I don't know. My Venmo hasn't gone off. I'm also wearing a nice shirt. I don't want to, I'd have to change mid podcast. But yes, I could be bought. But this isn't bad.
So you're gonna drink it. It's not something you're gonna pour down the drain. You won't necessarily
No.
go out and
No, I
look
wouldn't buy
to buy it.
No, unless they were like all the Pepsi we have is this, I wouldn't drink it. But I wouldn't throw that away because it's a hint of cherry flavor. So if you don't like cherry too much, it's not bad at all.
So let me ask you, Pepsi or Coke, which do you prefer?
Pepsi, 100%.
See,
Coke is fine. Like I don't hate Coke at all. But if I drink the two, Pepsi is like the refreshing. I just got a nice refreshing glass of soda. Coke is more like I'm still thirsty. Like
I prefer Coke. I can tell obviously I know you can too. You can taste the difference.
Pepsi is more,
to me, Pepsi's sweeter.
Pepsi's, yeah, I think it's crisper too. Like when I drink it, I'm literally like, oh yeah. Coke is like, yeah, it's good. Coke can hit the spot too. But
I feel like Coke,
Fountain Coke is like from McDonald's or Sonic, fucking amazing.
It's got cocaine in it, I'm pretty sure.
They do something with it. I don't know what.
They have to. To me, like Coke is more, you taste the carbonation more. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's more carbonated than a Pepsi.
Really?
To me, it is.
Because like,
but I'm an idiot. But who knows?
Because like when I get that, you get the carbonation right away from the Pepsi. I would prefer like if somebody has Pepsi over Coke, I'm instantly like fucking pumped. Like Yankee Stadium when they have Pepsi, I'm so excited. Arby's when they changed to Coke, I was like, fuck you, I'm not coming back here. The fuck.
So now what if Yankee Stadium became like the primary, if Coke became the primary soda of the New York Yankees?
I mean, I want to go to Yankee Stadium very little. Like I have no desire to ever go there. I have less of a desire. Like I can go there. I'd rather go there for the chicken fingers, fries, and Mountain Dew than to see the fucking product on the field. Like I don't want to spend the money to go see them play. But I want that fucking chicken bucket. That shit's awesome.
I remember we went to that game with your brother and your dad. You both got like huge chicken buckets. I'm sitting there drinking a beer and water.
Yeah. I was like, why didn't you get food? Oh, you don't eat. It's like you're at Yankee Stadium. You got to indulge. I think one of the best things I had was at the fucking Boston Garden. They have like a pizza slice that's literally like this big. I have a picture of it on Instagram somewhere, but it's like fucking massive and it was so good. And I think probably like $9. So overpriced.
It's ridiculous. And I would rather sit at home and watch a game than actually go.
Well, especially for baseball. I don't like sitting out in the heat, especially in the sun. Like football, you're freezing. Hockey,
sitting on those metal benches.
Yeah, hockey is fine. I love going to hockey, but baseball, I'd rather stay home. Football, you don't get a good view. Like it's much more friendly to watch than on TV than it is because you have no idea what the fuck's going on. Hockey,
like when there's a delay in the game and like there's something like what's happening, and you're like trying to figure it out.
Plus, when you're at the game, you can't hear Joe Buck. So I mean, yeah, it's rough.
But when you're at a baseball game, you can't hear John Smoltz.
That's true.
That's like the one positive.
Although I think Joe Buck's actually a good guy. John Smoltz is probably a fucking douchebag, isn't he?
Well, he's the anti him and Al Leiter.
That hurts me. That hurts me so much because I love Al Leiter. Can you just talk about I don't know what to talk about with Dexter. I'm like,
well, I
hate listening to myself talk and I feel like it's going to be a long-winded fucking thing.
Well, I can interject with something. I didn't watch it, but I do know some things because I found some quotes from Michael C. Hall about the Dexter ending. But before we get into any of that,
because I want to hear those. I haven't looked at it.
I have quotes and everything from like articles in the LA Times actually. But I know why McDonald's soda is so addicting.
I've seen this before. They do something with the carbonation, or they inject like extra carbonation or something. Something with Sonic too, because there's the best Coke I've ever had.
It's the soda syrup. Most restaurants have their soda syrup delivered to them in plastic bags. McDonald's soda syrup is stored in stainless steel tanks, which preserves the syrup's flavor and protects it from temperature, light, and air. All the things that can degrade the flavor quickly. The stuff that's delivered in the bags doesn't stand a chance.
Like that's a Coke that I drink where I'm like, that's refreshing. Can you look up the Sonic one? You know, Sonic has those like little beads of ice. Like,
I love the little crushed ice.
Ask Alex.
I love it.
whenever we go to Sonic, the drink is like the best soda ever. And it's Coke and it's not Pepsi, but like it's the best shit ever. Like I'll go there and specifically get like a large drink. Oh god. All right.
It seems like for Sonic, it's basically the same thing. They get the
This-
syrup in the stainless
smart.
containers, but the ice that Sonic has is just better. It's like those little. It's not. I wouldn't even call it like crushed ice. It's like little.
No, they're little pellets of ice, like
Yeah.
fucking deer turds. of
They're
ice.
like little crunch spheres. It's amazing. I don't know how they make it that way. Is it like the world's smallest ice tray?
It's gotta be. Ugh, that's the best thing about Sonic. The only reason I'd go back there, but I would never use the app. Fuck the
See,
app.
I would, I would go to the tots. That's what I want. The tots. I like the tots.
What was I gonna say before? Oh, there's nothing worse than when you get like a fucking your soda at a Taco Bell or wherever. Taco Bell is the only place it's really happened to me where it's flat.
Oh,
Like if I'm eating all that gross food, I want a nice crisp Mountain Dew, not a fucking flat, warm Mountain Dew. The last time there was one time I went there and they were like, "We don't have any ice." I was like, "Oh, what the fuck, man."
how do you not have ice?
Yeah, and they were out of either Pepsi or Mountain Dew, one of the two. Like it wasn't working, so I had like a warm. And I was not happy.
It's not like you want to drink water with that. Like,
And like the key is if you 'cause they fill up the ice the whole fucking thing, so you get less soda. But if you get no ice, you get more soda, but it's warmer. So you got to get light ice. That's the key. Light ice if you ever get soda. Because they fill up the soda the fucking this big and it's all the way full of ice, you get less soda. So that's the one thing I miss about going into Taco Bell because you fill up your Coke or whatever to Pepsi,
Yep.
drink it, and then you get a refill, bring it home. That's perfect.
speaking of Taco Bell, have you been able to get those wings yet?
They're gone. They were none of the mall didn't have it, the one in Greenwich didn't have it, and the one anywhere near me didn't have it. So I passed.
Is
on
that
the
going to be
wings.
like elusive, like the McRib?
They're gone already? They were for a week.
Only a week?
I don't understand the point of having them if you're not going to release them everywhere, and why it was just a week. Maybe it was a test to see if they were any good. But
Well,
fucking,
that could be. Then expand it if the feedback was good, which seems like the feedback was,
I've
from
only
what I saw, seemed positive.
yeah, that's because you only saw that voiceover moron. He said they were like crunchy, and everyone else that responded to me said they were mid or gross.
but
and then I saw
you
somebody
saw
on
the
TikTok
video.
who got
It looked
sick
like
from
they
them.
looked like they tasted.
They
good.
looked good, but I don't trust his opinion because he's a damn near fucking intelligent guy. I hate that guy so much for one simple thing.
damn near delectable.
I could give
but
on
that
a
means
fucking.
it's
I can
not.
go on a rant. If you're on TikTok, look for S. Johnson voiceover. The guy's a fucking idiot for one thing. Everything else he's fine with. He'll talk about something. He'll be like, "This Pepsi cherry is the best thing I've ever tasted. It's damn near refreshing." Well, if it's damn near refreshing, that means it's not refreshing, so that it's not good. What don't you get about this, idiot? I've commented on 48 of your videos. You fucking dumbass. Shit pisses me off. I know you read it. You read everyone else's comments. Like he just doesn't want to change. Is he too stupid to realize, or is he too proud to change? Like, is he dumb or is he an asshole? I don't know.
I'm actually crying from laughing so hard. There's actual tears.
I was
There's
talking-
actual tears.
I was talking to one of my best friends about like how much fucking hate I have in my body and how I like hang on to hate. Like I just pisses me off that this guy is not. He's just saying a dumb phrase that makes no sense, and I'm trying to correct you so you don't look stupid, and you continue to make videos where you look stupid, and I just fucking hate you now. Like I just can't watch your videos and take you seriously. I want to stab you in the face. Like it's just
damn near refreshing.
like there's nobody else on earth that doesn't understand this concept, right? If you say something is like you're damn near attractive, wait a minute, that means I'm not attractive because I haven't reached that. Damn near means not quite, right? It's not
you're right,
quite
you're right.
refreshing. But like I don't understand why you like he's trying. It sounds cool. It's damn near refreshing. If you said it's damn near perfect, then it'd be great, but it's not perfect. But you said damn near refreshing, so it's not refreshing. Then it's not a good thing. So why would you throw that as a compliment?
Do you think when he goes for like an interview or an audition for like doing voiceover, they're like, "You damn near got hired," and you didn't get hired, as Johnson?
Does he do any of that stuff?
He does do voiceover work. He actually really does do
But
voiceover work.
like anything like is it
He's
like
posted-
real
he's
voiceover
posted-
work? Like
Yeah, he's
cartoons
posted
and
some of
stuff?
the things that he's done voiceover work for like commercials and things like that.
Is it like commercials you've ever seen or like fucking
I've never heard his voice on
Local-
anywhere but the TikTok. So
I wonder if it's like
I'm not
local
sure.
TV commercials. Because Ben in our league, right? He did a radio ad for St. Louis one time. And he sent me
Really?
the clip for it. So like he's an actor out there and stuff. But like, I wonder if it's more like local stuff because I've never heard of this guy other than TikTok. And like, nobody seems to care that he says the stupidest shit. Like, it's not.
Well,
It makes
do
me
you see
unreasonably angry.
WWE, the NXT TikTok actually
Yeah, they used
posted,
his.
they used his voiceover.
Yeah,
So I
that
mean,
pissed me off because I fucking hate this guy, and he did
were you
one
like,
thing wrong.
this video is damn near entertaining.
If he did it once, I'd be like, wow, okay, that makes no sense. But he
He
does it
in
every
almost
fucking video.
Damn near delectable, damn near refreshing.
Damn near delectable. Okay, so then if it's damn near delectable, it hasn't reached delectable. So then what is it? Is it good? I don't know.
Like damn near delectable. What's it?
Like,
The
I'm
t-shirts
pretty
are
sure
tight too, Billy.
he wants to have sex with an Oreo cakester.
Oh, he's in love with those.
My sister tagged me in that video, and I was like, I know this fucking. I don't know if you saw it because sometimes you'll see like my comment on a video that you didn't tag me in, and I was like, yes, I know this fucking guy. He says the stupidest shit, but I'm sure he's a nice guy, but
yeah, but I still
it makes me angry.
When he says something, and sometimes I'll actually tag you in the video and tell you that, like, I kind of clue you in that he's going to say something that's going to piss you off.
Whenever you tag me in his, I'm assuming that's what it is.
When you say damn near refreshing, like damn near delectable, I can kind of almost get like it. So it's not delectable, but it's still tasty. But damn near refreshing. If it's not refreshing, then why the fuck are you drinking it, S. Johnson?
Yeah, like it's good. Just say it's good. You don't have to add these like extra words to make it sound cooler. You sound dumb.
Is his name Stefan?
I think it's Stefan or something like that.
Stefan
Urkel, I think.
Ah, Stefan Urkel, the cool Urkel.
I mean, it's just amazing. I don't know if we talked about this, how that show went from like A to fucking Z.
You were supposed to research it, and then you took it off.
But we did the whole the Tommy Westfall shit. But it was like, it started out as like a sitcom with Carl and his family, and it turned into Urkel's fucking inventing shit every week.
And then he went to space and shit.
He cloned himself. First of all, he changed his DNA. Then he clones. There's a scene where it's super racist. They change into Bruce Lee. And they have,
I remember that.
That's so racist by this standards, but it's so funny.
Wasn't there a robot Urkel too at one point?
It's insane. And
he
then
ended up in space somehow.
And like Laura falls in love with Stefan, and then they would, if they had gotten to a 10th season, I think it was, or a 9th season, whatever. If they'd done one more season, they would have gotten married. It's that proof that no doesn't mean no, because she spent 9 or 8 years saying no, I'm not dating you, and she gave in.
He was basically like borderline stalking.
I don't think more than that. It was fucking like, she'd be like, no. And he'd be like, I'm going to wear you down. Like,
I'm wearing you down. And
basically, that's my approach to dating. Please, 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 please. And then eventually they'll be like, just leave me alone. Fine.
Didn't the actress that played Myra, didn't she pass away?
Yeah, she died like right after that from, I think a brain tumor. Yeah,
I'll have to check.
Michelle Thomas, I believe her name.
Michelle Thomas. She died in 1998. So yeah, she really died right after Family Matters. She was only 30.
And they're all this. How old was she? What year was she born?
68.
Oh, so she's older because the Eddie, Laura, and Steve, they're all born in 76. I don't just know that off the top of my head. I've researched.
Oh, she looked young. She was 8 years older than them, but she looked young.
Yeah.
Myra.
Kelly, I don't know how to say her middle name. Shanine Williams. She's fine, or she was. Like, no wonder Steve was into her. She was cute.
Oh, did you know that the woman who played Mother Winslow, she died in 2002.
Rosetta Lenore?
Yeah, she died at the age of 90 in 2002.
It's a good life. We talked about that. Once you hit like a certain age, like back then, what year? 2002?
2002.
90, that's a pretty good life. Yeah. And then it's funny because fucking Thelma Hopkins was off the show, but her kid was on the show. So it's like,
oh God, I forgot about that.
Where the hell was the mom? And then literally they cut off one of the kids, and literally it's not like
Judy Winslow was gone after like season 4.
It's not like they didn't just like they stopped mentioning her. They started talking about how they only have 2 kids. She wasn't on like 8 episodes. She was on for like 5 years. And then they would be like, yeah, our 2 kids. Like, what?
I never understand why they did that.
Like, why not just say she's at summer camp. It's fall. Yeah, she's gone. She's living with somebody else. Or she died. Kill her off.
She's upstairs.
Yeah, she's upstairs. She'll come down later. And then
then didn't they add like another character like 3J or something?
3J was like, they adopted him at one point. So It was like Richie and 3J, and he was like a little thug.
So we get rid of our actual daughter.
And then they adopt 3. I think she was I don't think it was her character. I think she was just like a bitch and wanted more money or whatever. They like didn't have any screen time, whatever. But it's very weird that they
So recast her.
not just
I know
got
she
rid-
wasn't a major focal character.
Well,
Focal
I
character.
hate that too. So I talked about this last week. They recast the mom for like 6 episodes. Like you couldn't
Which
just
is, yeah.
couldn't just finish your contract, or I mean, you couldn't just finish the season, just sign on for an extra Gargano deal, another 2 weeks or whatever to finish your feud. Like, come on, it pisses me off. It just takes
Did
me.
you know that? Did you know that the actress who played Judy, who ended up being, she went into porn?
Jamie Foxworth? Of course I do.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Like,
There you
I'm
go.
not. If the words celebrity come before porn, I've seen it. Okay, like there's just no way I'm not watching that. I don't care if it's like an obscure celebrity from fucking Tanzania. Like, I'm gonna watch that shit. You've heard of fucking Marie from Finland? Yeah, I saw her porn. Yeah, it was good. Of course, I'm gonna watch that. All right, should we get into Dexter since we're talking about TV?
Do it.
What do you know about it?
What
did I talk about?
Spoilers are.
You see, I told you. I've already rehearsed this in my head. And instantly, it fucked it up. If you're listening to this podcast and you haven't seen the Dexter reboot, New Blood, and you want to, stop fucking listening right now because I'm basically going to tell you everything that happened. I know I've talked about like 4 or 5 episodes, maybe, but I'll probably.
You've only really talked about like the first one and then gave like a semi update.
Yeah. All right. So if you're going to watch it, which I suggest you do, if you haven't seen the original series, where the fuck have you been? Go watch that. Go take like, I don't know, 6 weeks and go watch the series and come back to episode 10. Because I don't know how long it would take you to binge, because there's like 90 something episodes of the first series and then 10 here. So
it's 100 episodes, 45 minutes each. If you watch 2 episodes a day, you're done in a month and a half.
All right, come back here in a month and a half. We'll give yourself 2 months and you can come back and listen to this. But if you haven't seen it yet and you're going to, stop listening, fast forward, I don't know, 20 minutes, come back, and I'll try to give I wish I could do like a little like
the breaks.
Yeah, exactly where we stop, but you're just gonna have to figure that out. So what did
you're on your own, motherfucker.
Do you remember what I talked about? It was like 2 episodes. Like, do you know the premise of the show?
Yeah, he's in. He somehow went from Oregon to upstate New York. He's dating the sheriff. His kid randomly shows up,
all right, so
and is suddenly older, and then he killed somebody at the end of the first episode.
That's So,
and his kid has some dark passenger.
So we'll go like season recap. I'll give the endings and then what I like and didn't like. I wish how far did you get in the original series? Like season 4?
When Rita died, I was like
the end of season 4.
Out.
All right, so let's see. The whole plot of this is he ends up, one of the things I don't like, he goes 10 years. It's 10 years after the original, even though it hasn't been that long. He doesn't kill anybody. Apparently he's killed nobody. It's like he stopped, whatever. So his sister's now his like, I don't know if she was there. I think it's assumed that she was there for the entire 10 years. This is like what his dad was.
His light passenger at this point.
Yeah. So she's like there when the season starts. So I assume that she helped him get to like, yeah, I don't have to kill anymore. Which is like, all right, I just spent 8 years watching you not be able to control that. Plus your entire fucking life before that, you couldn't control it. But now that the show's over, you can control it. Whatever. It's fine. I can deal with that. And then immediately kill somebody.
Well, maybe he gave it up for those 10 years because he had to give up his family to make sure they were safe. So he said, no, I lost everything. So I can't do the thing that I was.
And then as soon as the cameras show back up, he's like, all right, let's do this.
Exactly.
So he finds some asshole. His name's Matt. Obviously, everyone
sounds about right.
He's an asshole. He finds that he did some fucking crime. I think I don't know if he found out. Yeah, he found out before that he got arrested for something. He killed some people, but he got off because somebody else took the rap for it. So he's already.
I'm guessing he was rich.
He already hates this fucking guy. So he kills a white deer on like Indian reservation land. So then Dexter just knocks him in the head, puts him on a makeshift table and kills him, burns his body. So that's how everything starts. And then Mr. Krabs, who do you know Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob? Clancy Brown.
It's Clancy Brown. We talked about Clancy Brown.
Yeah. So
he has to be the major bad guy of the season because he's a douchebag in most.
I'm calling him Mr. Krabs because everybody knows Mr. Krabs. So Mr. Krabs is his dad. So they set up a search party on Dexter's land because obviously he's fucking the police chief. So they're like, yeah, we'll use your land. So they're searching and searching. And then at some point, his name, all right, I'm going to call him Kurt because that's Mr. Krabs. He's like, oh, I just FaceTimed with Matt. He's alive. He's great. And so Dexter's driving by and he's drunk. So he says that. And Dexter's like, yeah, you're lying because I fucking killed him. So why are you lying? So that's where everything starts. Like, why would you lie about your son being dead?
So now he decides he needs to start looking into that because that just seems a little bit odd.
So like, and then Kurt sort of becomes a father figure to Harrison because his dad is sort of like trying to figure shit out. Harrison does a thing where he stops like a school shooter. So like it was this friend that he stopped people from bullying him, and then he became friends with the kid who was being bullied. And then it turned out the kid was a school shooter, and he stopped him. Like he cut his leg and he stabbed him. Immediately, Dexter's like, yeah, the blood spatter shows that you attacked him and then you stabbed yourself. So Harrison's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm not, no. So he lets it go, whatever. So you sort of see like, all right, Harrison's a little fucked up. And then there's a whole character, Jamie Chung, I think her name was. She was in The Real World, and she's been in a bunch of other stuff. She's like a podcaster. She did a podcast on the Bay Harbor Butcher, the Trinity Killer. So she's in town to do a podcast on the guy who's missing, who's we know is dead. So fucking, this is the worst part of the whole series, but the one little scene ties the entire series together. So her and the sheriff go into like I don't say murder convention, like a police convention in New York City to also see where supposedly Kurt said his son was. Matt was supposedly holed up in a hotel, even though he's dead. So they go there to check it out, find out he's not there. They also stop into this convention of cops. Of all fucking police people on the planet, the one fucking guy who knows Dexter happens to be the keynote speaker at the fucking thing. You're like, all right, I can suspend disbelief. The fucking guy from Miami happens to be in New York City. Fine. So, and to backtrack, she's working on this case with a bunch of like missing people who are just runaways. She has a hunch that's something more to it, but nobody believes her. So she talks to Batista about this. He goes, I have this case, blah, blah, blah. She's like, go with your gut. I had a detective who would go with her gut all the time, right? So a normal conversation, you would think somebody who doesn't know this person would go, yeah, I had a detective like that. She would go with her gut. The police chief would go, oh, can I talk to her? Batista would go, she's dead. The cop would go, oh, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Batista would go, yeah, just go with your gut. All right. That's what I would expect a conversation to be like. Or what else is plausible is he could say, yeah, I had a detective like that. She goes, oh, can I talk to her? He goes, no, she's dead. Or backtrack. He would say that her name's Deborah Morgan. Can I talk to her? She's dead. That would be it. We're not talking about it. This motherfucker goes, yeah, I had a detective like that. Deborah Morgan. She was good. Can I talk to her? She passed away. She also had a brother. He passed away. He also had a kid too. What was his name? Oh, right. Harrison. No, fuck out of here. Why would he? And one thing that also pissed me off is he like had trouble remembering his name was Harrison. Dexter was like your best friend. You're not forgetting what his name was. But
when
like
the kid was like 2 when he died, or 4.
But he knows he would not forget Harrison. But like, in what conversation to a stranger are you giving the name of the cop, her brother,
His entire backstory, his kid,
like the whole backstory, like that whole. But
he had a wife who was murdered.
That's
too.
what leads her to realize that okay, Jim is not who he says he is, because there's another part. There's so many things that are intertwined that like Harrison takes drugs at a party and he goes, do you know that Jim's not his real name? And then he passes out. So the girl tells her mom, who's the police chief. So it's like, he was just on drugs. He's fine. But then when he says Harrison, Deborah Morgan, Harrison, like, wait, a Harrison just walked into my life. What the fuck's going on? So then she starts investigating shit.
That's
she starts
weird.
to see, but like
that's suspicious.
Everything hinges on Batista sharing way too much information that nobody would. That would be like if I didn't know you and I'd be like, yeah, I have a brother, Alex. He died. He had a girlfriend. She died. And she had a kid. And you'd be like, I don't need to know this. What the fuck are you talking about?
Who are you again?
All I asked you about was the one cop. And then you telling me about his brother's kid. But the whole show hinges on that, because as the season goes on, she figures out, I mean, nobody could fucking do this in like 6 years. She figures out, oh, well, he's the Bay Harbor Butcher. She puts that together because there was he went after the drug dealer who sold him the stuff and he injected him, but the cops got there. So he starts beating the shit out of him to act like an enraged father. And then he found the supplier also had a mark in his neck, but the cops were closing in on him. So he made him look like he overdosed. She sees there's marks on both of their necks.
Ties that to the Bay Harbor Butcher.
Found out that he got ketamine from the vet for his goat, who he named Vincent Van Goat, by the way.
That's kind of amazing, actually.
Yeah. And so she puts two together. She's like, this fucking guy is a fucking, it's not good. And
She's banging a serial killer.
And like her daughter is the one that Harrison's with. So they're figuring this shit out.
Ooh, that's weird. Was Harrison banging her daughter while she's banging him? And that's kind of...
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, nice.
And so it turns out Mr. Krabs is the one responsible for all those missing people. So he would like take runaways.
I knew he was the big bad guy.
Put them in like a room and spy on them. And then he would let them run away and then he would kill them. And then
So it was like a game for him?
Oh, Hector's calling me. I'm in the middle of a story, asshole. So like at the end, I think it was the last season, they capture him and they find his like lair underground, and it's every single girl he's killed preserved in like a box, like as they died. And so the reason why he called off the search and faked Matt's death, or faked that he's being alive, is because they were searching a certain cave where he hid his first kill in, who they end up finding, which was, of course, the police chief's long lost friend who she's been looking for since she was a kid. So at this point, she knows, it was pretty funny. She was like, she pulls Dexter over at the beginning of the series and then they make out or whatever. She pulls him over again. She's like, follow me to the station. And she reveals, you're Dexter Morgan. And he's like, oh, fuck. So he's like, she's like, I don't need Jim Lindsay. I need Dexter Morgan right now. So he figures out whatever the fuck. She realizes that it's Kurt, Mr. Krabs, who did this, but she can't prove it. He gets out of jail. So he knows that Dexter killed his son, because you know how if you get surgery in your leg, you put like titanium in it.
Yeah, it's like screws and shit.
And that doesn't melt. So when he burned Matt's body, the screws didn't melt. So Dexter has one of the screws on him at his house, and Kurt has the other ones, because he realized that it wasn't snowing, it was ash. Put two and two together, figured it out. So they both know that they're both serial killers, or he knows that Dexter killed his son, and Dexter knows that he's a fucking serial killer. So he puts two and two together. So they go back and forth. And so Mr. Krabs brings Harrison to his house. They do all this shit together. They're fucking weird. And then he's about to kill him. Dexter shows up, saves him. So now they're realizing, all right, we have to kill this guy. So Dexter finally talks about his dark passenger, and he tells Harrison all the shit that he does. And eventually he reveals that he kills people. So Harrison is looking at it like, well, you save innocent lives. You kill these bad people for saving innocent lives. So he's like, all right, I'm down with that. So you're like, oh, they're going to be together. It's going to be great. Angela's figuring this shit out. So they kill Mr. Krabs. He's dead. But before that, they were trying to before they killed him, he burned down Dexter's cabin because he thought Dexter's onto him. He's going to come home to his cabin. He'll get him first. He went to Mr. Krabs' house to find the evidence that he needs to kill him. While Mr. Krabs is there, Mr. Krabs figures that out, goes back to his house. They collide. He kills him, right? So his house is burned down. Angela finds the titanium screw. So she's like, well, what the fuck is this? Then they get home. In her mailbox is the other screw. It says Jim Lindsay killed Matt Caldwell. So he gets arrested. That's the picture I saw on Instagram, my mistake. It was his mugshot. Yeah. So I saw somebody else's story.
So you assume he's going to jail.
So I thought the ending was he's in jail. So the last 3 episodes I'm watching, I'm just like, get this over with. I've never been more uncomfortable and unenjoy something in my entire life. I was like, just finish this. He gets in jail. Fucking hurry up. So he's in jail. Harrison's like, what the fuck? Everyone's like, what the fuck? So she's trying to interrogate him. He's not cracking at all. He's like, okay, he burned down my cabin. He's setting me up. So she's realizing, you know what? It's plausible. You're probably not going to be convicted of this, but I'm going to make sure you're convicted of being the Bay Harbor Butcher. So he's in the jail cell. She fucking calls Batista. He's in it again. So he talks about reviewing the case and did you have any other suspects? And he was like, yeah, we did. It's Dexter Morgan. LaGuardia was into him. Like she believed it was him. So she emails him a picture of Dexter and her. And he's like, the look on his face was like, when was this taken? Last month. So he's like, all right, I'll be there tomorrow. So he's coming to Iron Lake, whatever. So then Dexter talks to her again. He's like,
wait, so he's coming from Miami to Iron Lake. Yeah. And he's going to come tomorrow. Get on a fucking plane, bro.
That's what he's doing. Right, I mean, he's going to get there. Yeah. So, but I'll spoil it. He never gets there. That's the last time you see him. So I always wonder what happens after a show ends. Like Petit, there was a great gif. I just the what's his face? I forget his character name. John Travolta from Pulp Fiction, where he's like,
Yeah.
So there's just like Batista in Iron Lake after the series. He's just there, and nobody knows what's going on. So it's like it just ends before he ever gets there. So Dexter tells the cop about Kurt and how all the bodies. You just go there, go underground, you'll find all the bodies. All right, she goes there because she knows that's what she's been working on, and he's probably telling the truth. So she goes there. Dexter calls the other cop, who also is the wrestling coach, who coaches Harrison. So like this small town is like 10 people in it. So they all know each other. So he's also the wrestling coach. So he's like, I need some water. Boom. Pulls him in a chokehold. Give me the keys. Let me get out. So you're like, he's going to give the keys. He gets his gun and starts shooting behind him. So Dexter has to kill him.
Oh, no, there's 9 people left in the town.
One of his few, like off the top of my head, I can think of one other one where he killed the wrong person, like an innocent person who was a piece of shit, but it wasn't an innocent person. But like he legit killed like a great guy, and like he had no choice. So he gets out, calls Harrison, meet me here. Let's go. We got to get the fuck out of here. So he gets there. Harrison gets there. He's like, what's that blood on your face? What happened? It's like, it's fine. We have to go. It's like, you called me from his phone. Did you kill him? He's like, it was the only way, man. He's like, you don't kill to save innocent people. You kill because you like to kill. He's like, listen, I can go with or without you. I just can't stay here. So he starts to leave. Harrison pulls out the gun that his dad got him for Christmas. And by this point, I'm like, are you fucking serious? So Dexter's like, right here, points to his heart, pulls the gun up, shoots him right in the heart. Last scene of Dexter holding Deborah's hand as he dies. Angela pulls up. He's like, he killed Logan, he killed Coach, and I had to kill him. He's like, it's fine. I just leave. Just go, leave. So she wipes his fingerprints and he drives off. So I'm assuming she took the blame for killing him.
Because no one's going to say that it wasn't an officer involved shooting.
He was like, could you say goodbye to your daughter for me? And she's like, no, because I never saw you. So she calls in the officer shooting, and Harrison just leaves it ends with just Harrison leaving. So Dexter is dead.
And what did I say from the very beginning? I said he had to die.
I knew it was a 99.9 or what is it? 49.9999% chance he'd be in jail, 49.99% chance he'd be dead. And then whatever's left over, maybe he gets to live because they want to. But logically, I figured he'd be dead. I am more satisfied with this ending. I'd rather have the lumberjack. I would rather it be the stupid lumberjack ending where I know he's living somewhere, murdering people for all or whatever the fuck he wants to do. But he's dead now. He fucking died. His son kills him. And the episode on IMDb is rated lower than the original finale. So
really?
You can tell nobody wanted him to die. It's rated like a 4.5. Nobody wanted him to die. I was so annoyed. Like, it's such a more satisfying ending than him faking his death and being in Oregon. But I have no desire for him to be dead.
Would you want to know what Michael C. Hall said?
I figured that he'd want a satisfying ending like that.
Well, he said, some people have predicted it. Some will be shocked by it. Some people will accept it. Some will reject it. I think it will be difficult for people to grapple with his fate, given that he is someone that they have spent a lot of time with and have a lot of affection for, at least in some cases. But Hall, who was also not pleased with how the original series ended, is satisfied that this ending is the right one to conclude the Dexter saga. The way the season concludes is one that resonates with me, he said. It feels justifiable. As upsetting as it may be, I hope audiences will appreciate the resonance of Dexter dying this way at the hands of his son.
Okay, so at least I'm sure he said this after the finale aired.
It was actually before, but the article didn't get released until after.
All right, that's
aired.
fine. That's fine.
He added, people moaned about an ending that was admittedly open-ended and without any sense of closure. He flashed a Dexter-like smile. I guess you have to be careful what you wish for.
I mean, that's why I said it's more satisfying because it's like a real ending. But me personally, and if it seemed judging by the rating of that episode, most people would rather it be open-ended and he just left.
But now I've heard that there might be a season 2.
No, it's impossible unless it's just Harrison, which I have zero interest in.
But I could see it being Harrison and then his dark passenger is Dexter.
But just like because he's not the same as Dexter. Dexter like enjoys it. Harrison is just angry and fucking. He was all about like, all right, we kill bad people because we can save innocent lives. That's like the reason I would do this. That's just like a icing on the cake for Dexter. He's just like, I want to fucking kill people.
And maybe now Harrison takes it to doing what he thought his father would have done.
If they did that and Michael C. Hall's in it as the dead guy, I'd watch that.
I could see that happening if they do a season 2. You can't do a season 2 and not have Michael C.
Well,
Hall.
You can't do a season 2 at all. He can't go back to that town. You're gonna call it New Blood 2? Like,
yeah, but it could be Harrison traveling to find a new place to live. But
you'd have to have
he kills people along the way.
Like you have to do a new, like it'd be like a new miniseries. It wouldn't be New Blood again. Which I have no.
Well, it could be Dexter New Blood season 2 because the New Blood is going to be Harrison's new blood of being a murderer.
Dexter New Blood, newer blood.
Dexter,
like
newer blood.
Like I have no interest in seeing him fucking dead or in jail. Like just knowing that the worst part of season 7 was when LaGuerta knew who he was, and I'm like, I don't want this. It's too much conflict. It's fun when there's like some random killer who knows Dexter and they fight each other or whatever. Not the people closest to him. Like his girlfriend now knows he's fucking Bay Harbor Butcher. Get the fuck out of here. Like I have no interest in watching that. So I was just glad it was over. But overall, it's a fucking great season. The best part about the cast was great. Every single person they cast was a hit. There wasn't one person I was like, this is bad. All of them were good. The only dislikes I had was what I told you, Batista's conversation, which ties the whole fucking show together. It's just not, it's like the least plausible you could possibly be for being plausible. It's damn near plausible. Like there's no way you're going into that much detail. Talking about the detective and her brother, maybe. Then, oh yeah, he had a son. She asked about the cop, not her brother and her nephew. Like there's too much information. And the fact that he's in New York at all is stupid. But that's how they tie the whole show together. Because if she doesn't find out who he is, he doesn't get arrested. None of that shit happens. He never leaves. But it's insane. In 10 episodes,
they get married, they have kids.
Exactly. He went from being just a normal guy in town to dead. After 10 years of fucking, I don't know how long he was in Iron Lake. I can't remember. But it was really good. I'm glad we got another season of Dexter, even if the ending is unsatisfying. It was nice to see him again. And then,
well, you see, they're bringing back all these other types of shows.
Like what?
Tim Allen is going to be in a Disney Plus series. It's going to be a TV series, The Santa Claus.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, hard pass on Timothy Allen Dick. No.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, that guy's an idiot. But that's a TV series about the Santa Claus. Like really?
Yeah, I think that's what I saw.
Is it coming out during next Christmas?
It probably won't come out till like 2026 at this point.
Because like if it comes out in June, like no thanks, even more so. But like I don't know, what would I rather have? I feel like this season was good enough to the point where it's worth me having to deal with him being dead till we got a good season out of it, than having to just assume he's fucking in Oregon still. So I don't like the ending. I'd rather it have been terrible. Like him and Harrison are like, fuck it, let's get out of here, and then they go to fucking Toledo, like, and they just sit in Toledo, and they're like, yeah, cool.
They're at a diner having a cup of coffee.
Exactly.
So what do you like to do?
Yeah, I would have rather that, as unsatisfying as that would have been, because obviously he kind of has to die. But
yeah, I mean,
as somebody who likes Dexter, which is everybody who watches the show, nobody wants him to be dead. So I bet you the majority of people are like, I understand it, but not a fan. And I would take the lumberjack because at least he was still alive, so I could pretend what he's doing. Now he's dead.
Also, at that point, like he gives up his kid. What happened? So, what was her name that took Harrison?
Hannah died of cancer. And
okay.
He found the note that he wrote her to tell her that he actually didn't die in the hurricane. So she knew that he was alive. And he said if he starts to show any dark tendencies. Also, what pisses me off is Harrison was like 1 when she died.
And now all of a sudden it's like 16.
At least
10 years later.
That too. But I mean, like Dexter, when his mom died, he was 3. When you're 1, you're not remembering what the fuck happened. So
I can't remember anything that happened before I was like 4.
I can't remember anything that happened before 5 minutes ago. So like Harrison shows, like when he listens to the podcast about the Trinity killer, that's when John Lithgow's in it. So they show the scene where he's on the ground, and they show a new scene where like Lithgow looks into the camera and talks. Like you're 1, you're not remembering that. You shouldn't have any dark tendencies. right?
Nope.
Dexter was at least 3, so maybe. So that the whole thing of Harrison being the same is it's not highly unlikely.
More far-fetched.
But again, you don't have another season, so I get it. And they
It's
had to wait for him
damn
to be
near
older.
not plausible.
Exactly. And if Harrison was like 13, it also doesn't work as well. So they had to. I can get past those.
But also, couldn't they have been like 15 years later? So then he's older. You know what I mean? Like, why did it have to be 10 years when it wasn't even 10 years since the series ended? You could have made it 15.
That's true. If you're already going to lie about that, why not just go to make where he's actually would be that age? Because I'm pretty sure
makes sense that the age lines up.
Because if he was born in season 4, right, 5,
Yep.
6, 7, 8, and then it's supposed to be 10 years.
But did
That's
5,
14,
6,
right?
7? Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember because he was pretty old by season 8, but it looked like he was 4.
I mean, maybe they did like those time jump aheads where like from season 5 to season 6, it was like 3 years.
Because
season 8, he's like 11. So when it comes back, he's 22, really.
Actually, he might have been. Because
sometimes they do a time jump.
How old was Harrison Morgan in season 8? At one point during season 8, Dexter's now dead sister says that Harrison is 4 years old.
Okay, so that kind of ruins it. So he's 14.
However, season 8 changed Harrison's actor to an older boy who was 7 at the point. So was he 7? Or was he? Well, okay, the Dexter wiki has him aged 4 to 5 in season 8. So then by now he would have been 14.
15.
So then why not just say, all right, it's been 15 years. I guess 10 sounds better. I don't know.
But you could also say it's been 12 years, then he's 16, 17, which then would make more sense. That lines up to it more.
I think he played a 16-year-old. I think that's what he was supposed to be because they were still in high school and it didn't seem like it was his senior year. And basically, he bounced around. He found that letter. So he went to Oregon. That's how he figured out Oregon and then somehow found Iron Lake. They didn't really say how he did it, but he found that letter after she died. And then he went to find him. So he's dead. So there's definitely not another season where he's alive. He's officially gone. Unless Michael C. Hall was desperate for money and then they could go like, this is the normal timeline. Season 8 is here. They go to a new timeline where New Blood never happened. He's alive and they could do it again,
you could do a prequel series.
Would he just put on a wig, make himself look younger?
Exactly. Well, they could CGI de-age him.
It's done. I highly doubt he would ever want to do this again.
If he ever did, it'd be him being the dead passenger.
But movies do it all the time. Like the
Dark
Terminator
passenger.
Terminator had new movies, and then there were just different timelines. So you could theoretically pick up
the multiverse of Dexter
15 years after season 8 and just pretend New Blood never happened. So it's possible, but I no.
Dexter reboot.
It's over. I don't know if you could do that. That would be like rebooting Breaking Bad. Could you ever see anybody even coming close? It'd have to be like 30 or 40 years from now. Like you couldn't do it anytime soon.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't see anybody else. I hate that, but I also agree where it's like I can't see anybody else playing certain roles. Where it's like, well, that's because somebody like I'm watching John Wick right now. Can you imagine anyone else being John Wick? Like not really, because it's so fucking awesome. But like if Jason Statham was cast as John Wick and we watched that and we knew John Wick as Jason Statham, you'd be able to say the same thing.
Yeah.
But like I feel like Michael C. Hall played that role perfectly. There's probably not too many actors who could have made you root for a serial killer. Like imagine if you're so weird that you're watching that series rooting for him to get caught. I don't believe in vigilante justice. You should be caught.
Back the Baloo.
Like honestly, if Dexter was real in real life, I mean, I would advocate for not doing that. But if it was, say, it was real, every single thing was real, where he meticulously found proof and killed criminals, I'd fucking be all for that. Granted, he can make mistakes. He has made mistakes. But I feel like if he kills 100, I don't know, 100 real criminals and one innocent person by mistake, is it worth it? Let me work it.
Thank you, Missy. But then it's also the same people being like, COVID has a 99.99%.
Yeah. I feel like if there was a killer out there who was killing bad people, I'm all for it.
But then I think it'll go to like, do people advocate for the death penalty and things like that? You have people on every side of the fence.
If it's like Dexter, where he's researching and not just somebody who's like, yeah, this guy was accused of stealing a candy bar. We'll fucking murder this guy. You know what I mean? Like he's killing murderers and shit.
Die.
I think he only killed murderers. I don't think he killed like rapists and shit.
But
He might have. I can't remember exactly if there was like a code, it had to be killers. But if there was a
Isn't
real
it kind
Dexter,
of weird in the whole Dexter series though, like Miami Metro PD or whatever they were called in the show,
Miami
like,
Metro, yeah.
they got a serial killer problem, man. Like, get your shit together.
Well, that's why he's in Miami, because there's just so
Too
many
many.
people, and it's like Miami, Los Angeles, New York, perfect places for a guy like that. But he left more breadcrumbs than he should have, because like by the time Bay Harbor Butcher comes along, what's his face? Lundy realizes that there were a few cases that he worked on where he fucked up the blood spatter and the guy went free. It's like you can't leave any footprints. But overall, New Blood, huge thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, actually. Very good. Just not a fan of the ending.
That makes sense. I can understand that.
Now I'm
But
sad because he's
it got a satisfying ending. But to make you unsad, do you want to go into a little bit of the sports stuff? The best trade that kind of like affected your childhood.
That's
best
not gonna-
trades that affected your childhood.
best trades. I thought you were just gonna do like, because wasn't the
best
tweet
trades.
wasn't the tweet like the one that most affected your childhood, like in a negative way? Like the one I saw retweeted it was when somebody said when Soriano got traded for A-Rod that he made his parents get like the baseball package so he could watch Soriano play because he loved Soriano. I thought it was gonna be like when you lost a player, like most devastating.
It said, what's a sports trade that dramatically affected your childhood?
Yeah.
I found a bunch that potentially could have dramatically affected your childhood because it could have altered your team's, the franchise.
I was thinking more of the negative impact because
I told you next week I'm going to have the things that kind of ruined our fanhood and our lives.
Best trades that impacted childhood. And I honestly don't know if any trade like impacted my childhood, but like the ones where it was like A-Rod, we got fucking A-Rod. I remember.
Well, I think, I'll give you, some of these. I did some for the Knicks, the Devils, the Giants. I had to throw the Cowboys in there for myself.
Back then, football trades were very rare. You never saw football trades. Remember when Clinton Portis got traded for Champ Bailey?
Yes.
I was like,
Broncos, Redskins.
They actually traded player for player. Like that never happened. Like, football trades. It'd be interesting to hear those.
So for the Knicks, and these were one of these you were 2, another you were 13. So in 98, the Knicks acquired Charles Oakley for Bill Cartwright. In 88, excuse me, they acquired Charles Oakley for Bill Cartwright. Oakley became the face of the 90s Knicks.
Huge, one of them.
That kind of affected the childhood because without Oakley being on the team, they're not going to be the bad boy Knicks.
But I wasn't watching the Knicks.
99, they traded Terry Cummings, Chris Mills, and John Starks for Latrell Sprewell. He became a fan favorite, got him to the finals as the 6th man. He led them in scoring, was the 6th man on that team. That's crazy to me. I didn't realize that.
When did we get Marcus Camby? Was he a trade or a sign? I mean, I guess if you don't have it, he was probably a signing. But I remember that was like my first year watching the Knicks where I was like really fucking into it. 99 Knicks were so much fun.
He was traded to the Knicks in a draft day deal for Charles Oakley.
In 99?
98.
98.
And his first 2 seasons in New York, he backed up veteran all-star center Patrick Ewing. Look at that. Charles Oakley. Bill Cartwright got you Charles Oakley, who got you Marcus Camby.
And we got to the finals in 99.
And did you know
that's the 8 seed?
The Bulls trading Charles Oakley for Bill Cartwright, even though the Bulls won like 3 more championships with Cartwright, that's the beginning of what soured Michael Jordan's relationship with Jerry Krause, because him and Charles Oakley were like best friends.
Wasn't Bill Cartwright on the first 3 Bulls teams? Or was he on the second 3 Bulls?
He was on the first 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was on the first 3. But would they have won those titles without Bill Cartwright and they had Charles Oakley? Who knows?
Oakley's a better player, but you never know.
Oakley was only 24. Cartwright had already.
He was
played.
old.
Like,
yeah.
He was
Why would they have
in
made
79.
that trade? That's a weird trade.
Well, the Knicks did it because they had Patrick Ewing at that point. So
well, yeah, they needed out. But why? I don't know why the Bulls would fucking. I didn't realize the Knicks had.
Oakley was young. They wanted somebody who was established.
I guess.
An established presence, I guess.
That's like really old.
All right, I got some Devils ones. Obviously, Taylor Hall and Ilya Kovalchuk. Those are the 2 major. Come on.
That little Kovalchuk trade, we gave up nothing. We ended up with nothing eventually, but we gave up literally nothing. Johnny Oduya, fucking nice player for Chicago, but not much. Matthias Tenenby, I think. Your fucking boy.
Guy, my boy.
I think he was in that trade.
I think he was too, and I was sad. I have 4 from the Devils that I think probably shaped your
Also,
childhood.
the
and your
Taylor
Devils
Hall
fandom.
trade was not my childhood. I wish it was. Yeah, that was like 2 years ago.
1998. So you're
Hold on,
12.
let me see if I can figure this out. 98. Because I wasn't really watching until 2000. So who did they get in 98? I don't know. Was that the Joe Newendike trade? It might have been 03. Yeah, I don't know.
So they traded a 4th-round pick who ended up being Christian Antilla,
Yeah, I
a
don't know.
5th-round pick who ended up being Oleg Smirnov, and the rights to Frederick
ice guy?
Bremberg. Yeah, exactly. They traded the rights to Frederick Bremberg to Edmonton for 2 second-round picks, who became John Erskine and Tyler Book, a 3rd-round pick in the 98 draft, which became Brian Giunta,
Ooh, wow.
and a 1st-round pick, which became Scott Gomez.
Wow. Yeah, those are two of the like top Devils ever.
In
Gomez and Giunta.
1992, they traded Sean Burke and Eric Weinrich. I know you're a big Eric Weinrich guy.
I was pissed.
To the Whalers for a conditional 1994 pick, a 2nd-round pick in the 93 draft, which became Jay Pandolfo.
Oh, one of my favorite fucking guys.
And Bobby Holik.
Wow, those are core guys.
In 1991, they traded Sylvain Turgeon to Montreal for Claude Lemieux.
Fucking Conn Smythe winner in 95.
And this, I think, would be the one that shaped the majority of your childhood. 1st-round pick, the number 11 pick, which became Trevor Kidd, and a 2nd-round pick, which was number 32, which was Vesa Viatkoski in the 1990 draft to Calgary for 2 second-round picks, which became David Harlock and Chris Gottsiaman.
By the way, the Calgary moved up to take Trevor Kidd over the guy you're about to talk about.
And a 1st-round pick, which was number 20 for Martin Verdor.
Imagine trading,
that was like
they traded up, right?
Yeah.
And they traded up to take Trevor Kidd, and the Devils.
They went from 20 to 11, and the Devils moved back.
And that's insane.
So, I mean, all 4 of those were major trades that helped build the Devils into the Devils of the 90s and the 2000s.
It's very weird that Brodeur never won a Finals MVP or a playoff MVP.
The Giants was tough because there's not many trades. Obviously, like Otis Anderson trading 86, it got the Giants 2 Super Bowls when the Cardinals thought he was washed. You were like 4 when they won their 2nd Super Bowl.
He was on the second team, right? He was on both. Like, yeah. I know he was better on the first one, but
the Cardinals traded him because they thought he was absolutely washed. He ended up scoring like 35 touchdowns for the Giants. That was a good trade.
I think it's the Bills Super Bowl where he has like a fucking uppercut run where he just fucking chucks the guy. Oh man, I can't imagine watching that Super Bowl live. I would have shit myself.
This trade, I think, though, is you were still technically a child. You were not yet 18. They traded the 4th pick, Philip Rivers.
Oh yeah,
a 4th-round pick, which between Nate Kading, a 1st-round pick in 2005, which became Sean Marion, and a 5th-round pick,
Sean Marion.
Sean Merriman.
It was like Sean Marion, wrong sport.
And a 5th-round pick, which was traded to the Bucks and then the Rams, and became some tight end named Jerome Collins, big Jerome Collins guy, and they got Eli Manning.
I always forget that.
Technically, you're still a child.
He got drafted by the fucking Chargers. It's so weird.
But now here's the question. Let's say the Giants never made that trade.
No, they
don't.
And
you got those exact same players, Philip Rivers, Nate Kading, and then the next year, Sean Merriman. I think the Giants still win Super Bowls.
Nope. No chance.
I think they do.
0. Not at all. There's no chance Philip Rivers is beating the Patriots. None. 0.
But you have Sean Merriman. Now your good defense just got even effing better.
Yeah, and we have Sean Merriman, and we don't have Justin Tuck probably, or whoever.
But who's your kicker? Nate Kading, baby.
I'd rather have Lawrence Tynes. You kidding? He would have missed. You kidding me? He would have missed all of the field goals against the Packers, and we would lose that game too. No, there's no chance Philip Rivers wins against the Patriots. No chance. Even though he's got better stats, give me Eli.
But he also played that one playoff game, I think, on a torn ACL.
Yeah, that was and they almost beat the undefeated Patriots.
Gutsy.
But like I was looking at it, like you look at Roethlisberger, his stats are better than Eli's. No doubt. He's way more wins. He got really carried. He really only has 1 Super Bowl. The second one, fine. Yeah, he was great.
That first one,
he had 9 completions.
It was
123 yards. 2.
That was against the Seahawks, wasn't it?
Yeah, one of the worst Super Bowls ever. He has 2 Super Bowls, but like that's like saying Trent Dilfer has 1. Yeah, he does, but he didn't do anything.
He might have one, but like
Trent Dilfer. Really. Look up his stats right now. He might have done more in that game against the Giants than Roethlisberger. 9 completions for 123 and 2 picks. You don't have 2 Super Bowls. You have 1. You just happen to be there for the second one or for the first one.
Is Trent Dilfer the worst starting quarterback to win a Super Bowl? Yes, maybe.
I think Roethlisberger was a better quarterback. He just had probably a worse game once you give me his stats. But Brad Johnson for the Bucks was bad.
Oh,
But
that was a bad one.
not Trent Dilfer bad.
I know they didn't win, but Rex Grossman on the Bears.
Jeff Hostetler won a Super Bowl for the Giants.
So 2000 Super Bowl. He 12 of 25 for 153 yards and a touchdown.
He had a touchdown and no picks. Yeah, that's a much better game than Ben had.
And 12 of 25. So not even 50% completion.
That's insane. They must have run it a fucking 100 times and then just played fucking defense. That Super Bowl still pisses me off. They changed the whole game plan after the Vikings game.
34-7 they lost.
Amani Toomer was like, I don't know why we changed. We should have just done what we do well and see what happens. Like I could have swallowed that much easier.
Jim Fossil was the coach, wasn't he?
Yeah. If we just played our best that we could do and they just killed us, that's fine. But we changed the whole game plan to try to go against their defense. Like that was just bad. I'm being so depressed about that.
Do you want me to tell you? Yeah, they ran the ball. Jamal Lewis ran the ball 27 times.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Do you want me to tell you how
Kerry Collins did?
The Giants.
I mean, their only score was on a kickoff return and then immediately gave one back on the next kickoff.
What do you think Kerry Collins' final stats were?
12 for like 36, some bullshit. He had to have thrown it a million times, right?
Yeah, so the Giants ran the ball 16 times, including 3 times by Kerry Collins, mind you.
Probably scrambling for his fucking life.
15 of 39 for 112 yards and 4 interceptions.
15 of 29?
15 of 39, excuse me.
39?
15 of 39, 39 for 112 yards and 4 interceptions.
Yeah, that defense was really good. Like I remember watching I can't remember which game was first. I feel like the Giants Vikings might have been at first. And then I was watching the other game going, because the Raiders and Ravens game was pretty close. And I remember being like, I don't want to face the Raiders offense, but the Ravens defense is really good. I didn't know who to root for. Man, we might have had a chance against the Raiders.
Do you know what the score was in that Raiders
Wasn't
game?
it like 13-9 or something ridiculous?
16-3. Trent Dilfer was 9 of 18 for 190 yards, a touchdown, and a pick.
16. How does he keep getting touchdowns?
the prior week, so now we're in the divisional round when they beat the Titans 24-10. He was 5 for 16.
Did they win the division that year? Weren't they like 12 and 4 or something, or were they a wild card?
I think they had Trent Dilfer only started 8 games that year.
Really?
He was 7-1.
Who the fuck was their other quarterback? Elvis fucking Gerbach?
I think it was Elvis Gerbach. Now hold on, let me do a little research on the Ravens here. Because
I feel like the Titans won the division that year. I think they beat the Ravens both times or something like that. This is what happens on the podcast. You get down a rabbit hole and you just fucking start talking about the 2000 NFL playoffs. Not this year, which start in like 2 hours, but we talk about the 2000 playoffs.
We're talking about the things that matter. So the Ravens went 12-4. They finished
the Titans
second.
went 13-3.
And they finished second. The Titans beat them both times.
Yeah, and then they beat them in the playoffs. Fucking stupid ass Titans. Giants might have won a Super Bowl if we played anyone else.
So now I need to see who the quarterback was the first week of the season.
That's Cowboys 2007 vibes. Beat the Giants twice, fucking lose. Imagine going 12-4 and your divisional opponent beats you twice and they go 13-3, but you still beat them in the playoffs. 12-4 with one of the top 5 defenses ever, and you're a wild card. That's insane.
It was not Elvis Gerbach. It was Tony Banks.
I don't know who that is.
Do you know who the starting quarterback was for the Steelers? It wasn't Cordell Stewart.
What's his face? Oh, wait, this is 2000. Roethlisberger.
It wasn't Tommy Maddox.
It wasn't Tommy Maddox.
Kent Graham,
the former Giant.
Kent Graham had no idea he was even a Steeler.
Wow, I had no idea. God damn.
No, I do. Going from that, a couple for the Cowboys. I know you hate the Cowboys, but a couple did help shape.
Yeah, fucking shitty Herschel Walker trade.
1990, they traded up from 21 to 17 to take Emmitt Smith. 2 other running backs were taken between those picks, so they would not have gotten Emmitt Smith. They likely would have taken Rodney Hampton, who ended up going 24 to the Giants. But obviously, the trade.
Wasn't that one of those picks from the fucking Herschel Walker trade?
It was indeed. So the Herschel Walker trade, which is probably the best trade in football history for one team and the worst trade in football history for the other.
You don't see trades like this.
They traded Herschel Walker, 3rd and 10th round picks in 1990, a 5th round pick, and a 3rd round pick. So they traded Herschel Walker in 4 picks. 4 linebackers, Jesse Solomon and David Howard.
You don't see anything remotely resembling this.
Defensive back Isaac Holt, defensive end Alex Stewart.
Didn't most of these guys get cut?
Yeah. 1st, 2nd, and 6th round picks in 1990, 1st and 2nd round picks in 1991, and 1st, 2nd, and 3rd round picks in 1992.
Even if the Vikings, because the Vikings thought they were literally just Herschel Walker away, that's still too much. Way too much.
This allowed Dallas to get Kevin Smith, Darren Woodson, the pick they used to trade up to get Emmitt Smith, as well as several other cogs to their entire championship teams of the 90s.
Irving was still on the team, or was already on the team.
Yes.
And Troy Aikman was the first pick in like 89, I think.
Yep.
But like, and I think there was conditions to like picks might become better or something if they ended up cutting those players. Why would you put the condition in there? Just cut the guys and get better picks. Oh, it's baffling. Whoever like I said, they thought they were literally Herschel Walker and they were Super Bowl, but that's way too much. Like,
and do you realize
the first set of picks is enough? Then you added 2 more years worth of picks. Awful.
Do you realize when this trade happened, people said the Vikings won the trade?
Well, it's because they didn't. I guess if you're just getting draft picks, sure.
Because everyone said that he was the missing piece to the Super Bowl teams.
I mean, it could still be that he was, and they not win the trade because it's way too much. But yeah, that probably set the Vikings back until like today. Still, that's disgusting.
Well, this is kind of cool. From the moment he arrived in Minneapolis, Herschel mania erupted. After a single 2.5-hour practice where he studied only 12 offensive plays, he had a strong debut against the Green Bay Packers. He produced the best rushing game by a Viking since 1983 and the first over 100-yard rushing performance by a Viking since 1987.
How long was he on the Vikings? I feel like it didn't last very long.
He was on the Vikings from 89 to 91.
Yeah, that's, oh my God. And was he even good?
We're going to find out. From 89, he never even rushed for 1,000 yards as a Viking.
In a season?
In a season.
Pathetic.
His first season, he played 11 games because he got traded midseason. 669
that was a mid-season
yards, 5
trade?
touchdowns. Yep.
Wow.
The next season, he played 16 games, 770 yards and 5 touchdowns. And then his last season, 825 yards and 10 touchdowns. And then goes to the Eagles and gets 1,000 yards in his first season with the Eagles.
He played for the Eagles. Did they trade him to the Eagles or did he just leave? And how did the Vikings finish? I don't think they made the playoffs. Or if they did, they didn't go far.
He left as a free agent, played with. After 3 seasons in Minnesota, the Eagles signed Walker, hoping he would be the final ingredient they needed to reach the Super Bowl.
Yikes.
He played 3 seasons with the Eagles, then signed a 3-year contract for $4.8 million with the Giants.
Wait, what?
In 1995, he signed a 3-year contract worth $4.8 million with the Giants as a 3rd down running back that soon discovered that Walker wasn't elusive enough for the role. He couldn't play fullback either because of limited blocking skills.
Why did I not realize he was a Giant? All right.
He only played 1 season, then he got cut and then got signed back with the Cowboys.
Before we we're running out of time, but how did the Vikings do in their 3 years?
Let's see.
I feel like they didn't make the playoffs at all. That would just be the icing on top to not even make the playoffs.
Let me find out. Bear with me 1 second.
I feel like we can talk about the playoffs next week.
Yeah,
we'll talk about the results, but I just want to shoehorn this in here. Novak Djokovic is a fucking moron.
Oh, he's a piece of shit.
And I'm glad he's not. I hope he doesn't get allowed. Because don't you need to be vaccinated to come to America?
I think so.
and then probably France and probably England. So
I'd assume so.
fuck
I
you. I
hope he
hope
can
your
never
season-
play. I hope he can't play.
fucking moron.
So the year that they got him mid-season, they finished 10-6, won the division, but lost in the divisional round to the 49ers 41-13.
So they won a
Ouch.
playoff game, or were they like a top seed? They get
They
a bye.
were one of the seeds that it was the first round for them playing.
Oh, so they didn't. So they lost
They
the
didn't
first
win.
game.
The next season, 6-10,
Ooh,
no playoffs.
wow.
The next season, 8-8, no playoffs.
Yikes. That is a horrendous trade. So to
Wow.
the death of a franchise, to how about the this week's unusual death? Where do you want to go?
What do we think for unusual deaths?
I'm the
we
reader.
just did 2015. So do we think we go back to the 2000s, or do we kick it back old school like the 1900s again?
I kind of want something from the 70s.
70s.
I'm feeling
Okay.
70s for some reason,
How about
just because I watched that documentary last week.
what about 70? Is there something in 77?
There are two. One of them's got one person, one of them's got two people, and one of them's longer than the other one. Do you want the short one? Oh, actually, okay, you just pick one, because the short one actually kind of looks pretty funny, but it's one sentence.
Let's go for the long one.
The long one?
Yeah.
We might have to do the other one next week then, because it's kind of good.
Well,
All right.
actually, forget the long one. Give me the short one then, if it's kind of good.
All right, yeah, because it's very interesting. Tina Christopherson in 1977, no date. That's Christopher Son. So a full last name.
Do you think it's pronounced Christopherson?
It could be Christopherson. That sounds more like, but I think of Chris Christopherson with a K. We're gonna go Tina Christopherson. Sure. She died, obviously, when she drank 4 U.S. gallons of water a day to combat stomach cancer.
So that's that's a lot of
15 liters, 4 gallons of water a day. Like, do you not know about water intoxication, water poisoning? Like,
I'm guessing she didn't.
I guess there was not a lot of information about water in the 70s. She had stomach cancer. So that's all there is. There's like a citation from the Naples Daily News, which you would probably read. But like, I'm guessing she was a holistic idiot and was like, I have cancer. I have either chemotherapy or lots of water. And she chose
I'm going to choose water.
And there's also a link to water poisoning and intoxication, so you can like research that. But Tina Christopherson drank 4 U.S. gallons, which is 15 liters of water a day to combat stomach cancer.
So I'm pretty sure that that's 128 ounces of water, which means that's 512 ounces. There's 128 ounces of
I mean, they already gave you it's not like it said 15 liters. It's 4 gallons. Everyone knows gallon, like the fucking gallon drums. Imagine
So
drinking 4. I can't even imagine drinking 1 a day.
So I drink 160 ounces of water a day, every day.
And how much did she drink in ounces? Since if you're talking about how many you drink.
512. So she tripled me. Almost 3.5 times, maybe, every day.
God. That's
how do you even do that?
That's a lot. I mean, how you just live in a bathroom? Like if I did that, I'd be in the bathroom, like literally just.
You would just stay standing up.
If I literally just like chugged 1 of these, I'd be in the bathroom 10 times in an hour. If I drank 2 of them, I'd probably be in there every 5 minutes. Like it's insane. I can't imagine even coming close to that.
Yeah, that's
I'm not. I mean, I guess what would you rather die from? Water poisoning or stomach cancer? Both sound pretty shitty.
But I feel like with the stomach cancer, they're at least giving you drugs and meds to ease the pain. She basically drowned herself.
Idiot. Oh, I can't wait to hear more about that and forget about it in 5 minutes. But what I'm not forgetting about is on this day.
Well, I appreciate you not forgetting that.
Yeah,
so,
finally, episode 10, on this day. I remember everything this week.
All right, so I'll give you some birthdays that happened today. 1412, Joan of Arc, the Roman Catholic saint and the national heroine of France, was born.
Throwing it way back.
Martin Luther King Jr. was born on this day in 1929.
Nice.
So he would have been 93 years old today.
I had a dream last night.
Did you really? Was it about Martin Luther King Jr.?
No, it's weird. I had a dream the other night where I was like sick in my dream and then I woke up sick.
That's
like weird. I was puking in my dream and then like my stomach hurt. So I was like, did I get sick? From
the dream?
Or was I sick because like I was dreaming. It was really weird.
You subconsciously made yourself feel sick.
Yeah, it was very weird. But that was a joke, his famous speech. You remember, Martin Luther King, the guy who's standing up for something you hate, black rights.
That's not true. In fact, I do. Wow. Wow.
Martin Luther King was your fucking enemy. Yeah, he died. He said, "I have a dream." That whole speech. That was the joke because I had a dream last night, but I'm much
I don't
less
get it.
significant. Yeah.
It's
It's a somber death because that's an important one.
some that was actually a birthday too. It wasn't even his death.
It was born on that day. Oh, right. Yeah.
Because Monday's the celebration of Martin Luther King Day.
Find out what day he died, and then we'll have to record that day so we can shout him out again. It's pretty
Oh,
important.
Jesus.
Pretty important guy.
Elizabeth Short, known posthumously as the Black Dahlia, was found murdered
I thought
in
you were
the
going to say
Leimert
Elizabeth
Park
Shue.
neighborhood of Los Angeles on this day in 1947.
The Black Dahlia.
In 2019, at the age of 97, Carol Channing passed away.
Shout out to Ryan Stiles.
And then in 2020, this was 2 years ago, at the age of 75, Rocky Johnson.
How is 2020 already 2 years ago? That's ridiculous.
Just think, this time 2 years ago, there was no pandemic yet.
That's
But,
true. We were
Rocky Johnson, the father of Dwayne the
Had
Rock
Kobe
Johnson, passed
died
away.
yet? Didn't Kobe die on like the 20th?
Kobe?
It was close, right? I feel like it was
think so.
close to around this time. That started like everything, really. Once Kobe died, it was just like fucking nothing has been going on.
He died January 26th, so 11 days from now in 2020. So it'll be 2 years and 11 days.
That's insane. That's just ridiculous. Where the fuck is the time gone?
I'm just going to say this. There's a specific day that we need to record the podcast.
Why?
And I'm going to make sure that we do record it on that day. I don't care what's happening, but I'm going to make sure that we're recording on that day. Because I know already for on this day, it's a death that we need to have happen.
Is it Bud Dwyer?
I wish.
Who's another
I wish.
death?
We're not going to get into it. But
Well, I don't
Rocky
even know
Johnson died.
I
on
don't
this
even
day
know
in
the
2020.
day because what happens if I'm not free?
You're going to have to be free.
I'm not free during the day anymore unless it's a weekend. We'd have
So
to record.
we'll have to do it at night
Yeah.
on a specific day if it's during the week. I have to check to see the specific day of the week that is.
Is it soon? Is it this month?
It is this month. Yes.
I'm gonna just search Google. Show me who's died in
No.
January. Every single person who died in January.
That will ruin it. A few things that actually happened on this day, which are kind of cool. In 1892, basketball rules first published in Triangle magazine, written by James Naismith.
Triangle magazine, written by Phil Jackson. Get it?
No, I don't get it.
He ran the triangle, dick.
No, he didn't. In 2001, Wikipedia was launched by Jimmy Wales and Larry Sanger. I never knew who actually invented Wikipedia until I learned that.
I would love to know who edits it and where they find their information. Because
And-
see, if you edit something as a joke, like they're on it like immediately. I always feel bad. I feel like I should donate to them, and I just never do.
Yeah, I never do.
So
but
use
this-
Wikipedia for everything.
The last on this day is a callback to a prior episode. On this day in 1919, the Great Molasses Flood occurred in Boston.
Wow. Nice. That's crazy. One story about Wikipedia. One time, it was like a history class of like architecture or whatever. We had an assignment where it was like, I'm going to give you 20 assignments. You have to do 12 of them, whatever. So I was like, all right, I'll do this one as like an extra. I literally copied the entire Wikipedia page and handed it in as a paper, but I cited it at the bottom. To nobody's surprise, I got an F. But like just the fact that I had the balls and the lack of brains to actually try and pass that off, because I was like, it would be an extra one. Maybe I could get a passing grade. And of course, no. But like, why would anybody do that?
Was that in college or high school?
Yeah, college.
Wow.
Herb Janik, love that guy. Bored. One of the only times I ever fell asleep in class. Love the guy. So boring. Talking about architecture. I literally fell asleep in class. But I was a moron and turned in an entire Wikipedia article. Like literally,
That's funny.
Scrolled down, copied it, handed it in. Thought I could squeeze a D out of it and get a passing grade. Of course.
That is hilarious.
And I believe Mr. Janik passed away a while ago,
Oh, that's sad.
but he was a good
R.I.P..
guy, just really, really boring.
Did he
that
pass
was-
away on this day?
I don't know. I would love to. I'll do some research on Herb Janik from WestCon, see if I could find it. He was super old. Nice guy, though. But yeah, he probably thought I was a fucking idiot. I think I
Yeah,
passed
I
his
mean-
class, though. But I was trying to get one past him. Like, you imagine him just reading it, going, "This is"? I just imagine what he's thinking. Like, this is. I hope I took out the little sections where it says about me and whatever the fuck I was researching. Like, I hope I at least edited it. Like,
I bet you that he probably was like, this fucking kid like got some. He probably honestly thought you had some balls, like to actually try that and think you're gonna get away with it.
maybe he was just like, okay, I see what you're doing here. Not gonna work. I appreciate the effort. No, F. Like, I can't imagine being a teacher seeing the stupid shit they must see. But yeah, that's see, I just shoehorned in a story in there. You talked about Wikipedia being founded. I talked about that.
Herb Janik died in 2018.
Wow, you found it? Yeah.
He was born in 1929. Wow, he was old AF.
What does it say he taught? It was like architecture. Because I remember he was talking about buildings and shit. I think it was an architecture class. Like a Art Deco shit. That's one of the phrases I know from. Did you find his obituary or like his Westcon page or some shit?
Archives from the library at Westcon, because he actually, one of his most important achievements was his help in the creation of the Western Connecticut State University archive.
Wow. See, he was a good dude. Passed away in 2018. Shout out
I'm
to
trying
Mr.
to,
Herb
I
Janik.
think it might have been February 5th, 2018, because that's when this was posted.
I remember he used to do this thing when he would talk and he would like roll his hand. He'd be like, I was looking at the building. And like he would do this, and we'd always used to like mimic him in the dorm and stuff. I think this was before I met you. Because I was hanging out. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, definitely was, because I never went out anywhere once you moved in. So this was like 06.
Really?
Yeah, like early WestCon.
He was a professor of American history.
So I guess it was like a history of architecture or some shit, because he would talk about buildings all the time.
Oh, wow. He passed away on January 31st.
Ah, is that the one you were talking about? We have to record on the 31st?
Might have to be
I
now.
spoiled it. Herb Janik.
Wow. He lived in Richfield.
Good guy. How old was he? Like
He
almost
was
90? You said 29 to 2018?
Yeah, 2018.
Was that 89?
So he was 89.
I can't believe I just did that math. You have
I'm
no
actually
idea.
kind of impressed.
You have
did
no
that too.
idea how proud I am of that. Like, I can't do math at all. Like, I have to use my fingers. Wow. I took a chance because I thought you were going to be like, dude, he was 60. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I
He
said
was
89.
42.
I wasn't even close. He was in his 40s. All right. Well, that's a good note. I got a math problem, right? So we're going to end there. Episode 10. Let's see. 7 days between. I don't know when we're off. We'll talk about midweek next week, probably. We'll go over NFL playoffs. I'll do maybe the 27 club because Dexter took up most of my time this week. So we'll see you then.
Bye.
Oh, geez.
There's a lot of dead air.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
You're gone, but
This is how the podcast ends. It's like I forgot how to do this.
Technical difficulties.
Exactly. That's what we don't edit. So you're gonna get this. This is the end of the podcast.
Womp womp.
Exactly.